This is the Idiot Entrepreneur Podcast with
John
and Kelley,
where no one is smarter than you. We're all just a bunch of idiots figuring out business and life one day at a time. Welcome to the Idiot Entrepreneur Podcast, guys.
Yep, welcome to another episode. What's up, idiots?
What's up, idiots?
Yeah.
All right. I love our intro.
Yeah, so do I. It's better than anybody else's.
Yeah, it blows them away.
I know.
All right, well, welcome everybody. How are you doing today, Kelley?
Very well, John. How are you?
I'm doing great. Things are starting to look like they're alive again in New York.
A little bit, yeah. Little bit of activity. Still very easy to walk around and do what you want to do, which is kind of nice. It's actually, virus aside, I kind of wish it would stay like this forever.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if there was this many less people, I think it would be awesome to be outdoors all the time.
Yeah, we would never complain. It would be like the perfect place to live, but
yeah, I mean, actually a great example, we took an Uber today, pretty short distance. It was maybe a 10-minute car ride. Normally that car ride, that same exact distance to the same exact place where we went would take about 40 minutes in a normal New York City traffic.
Yeah,
it took less than 10.
Yeah, we would have taken us hours, the whole thing we had to do, but we were done in
boom,
hour and a half. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, so stay that way. All right. So we're going to get into the facts. So today we're going to talk about 5 real facts you must know before starting a business.
Yeah, so some of you may already have a business, and I think this would still apply because if, you're like many people, you probably started a business without thinking of any of these things. Hopefully you figured them out, but you may not have. So, there's never too late to kind of rethink some of these things. And if you're somebody who's starting a business, then these are really going to help you prepare yourself so that you start off on the right foot. These are things we certainly wish that we had known
5 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when we're still trying to figure things out. And we still are, by the way. But when you guys Google, when you go to Google and type in, how do I start a business? It'll say things like start an LLC, or choose a C Corp or an S Corp. Is it a corporation? It'll tell you something like get funding, consider partners, make a 30-page business plan. That's not how things really work. So Google, the formal outline you'll see on the internet about starting a business says follow step A, B, C, D. Those aren't really the facts. That's part of it, yeah, but that's not actually how you would what you should really know, rather, before starting a business. Before starting a business, we're going to go into 5 facts that you should know.
Yeah, well, and I just want to say, it's very, very easy to get hung up on all that crap. Oh, I don't know, should I be an LLC? Should I be an S Corp? What should I name my business? Should I get business cards? And then, you just get hung up in all the little kind of meaningless details. And that'll really, for a lot of people, that's where it ends, right? They get hung up and they're like, and it feels overwhelming and they quit before they even start, And then other people get started way later than they would have had they not gotten hung up on all this silly stuff. So we're going to talk about the real shit, the shit that you need to know before you start. Take it from us.
Yep. So that leads into fact number 1. So this is titled, You Need a Bulletproof Mindset. So fact number 1, you need a bulletproof mindset. Actually, if you guys haven't heard episode 7 of Idiot Entrepreneur, we talk about 3 habits for a bulletproof mindset. You guys should listen to that episode before listening to this one, actually.
Yeah, that'll really help you get kind of in the right frame of mind to have a bulletproof mindset if you don't already. Yeah,
so we're not going to get into every single detail of a bulletproof mindset. But because you can listen to episode 7 and get the basic gist of what we're saying. So a bulletproof mindset's not a mindset that's developed in 3 days. It's a lifelong evolution. It takes time, practice, patience, effort, learning, work. It's a mindset that doesn't fail, basically. that constantly is pushing to further yourself into excellence, which is a lifelong process. And this is also the foundation for your own life and business. You really should think about the following questions in terms of whether or not you actually do have a bulletproof mindset, or this is something that you can actually develop. You got to ask yourself things like, how are you going to handle things when they go bad in a business?
Because they will.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot.
Yep. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. Things will go.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be if. It's going to be literally when and how many times. And that can happen. That could happen literally 10 times in a day, where shit goes upside down, inside out, sideways, and backwards. That will happen repeatedly, actually. So you got to ask yourself, can you handle those things? Can you handle bad things, bad situations? And how do you handle that level of stress? All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is, are you willing to work when you don't want to work? Birthdays, holidays, weekends, nights, working while on vacation, etc. So are you willing to work when no one else is working, when no one else is looking? That's a big, big deal because most people aren't. Are you willing to accept failure? Are you willing to accept setbacks? Are you willing to accept the constant ups and downs? There's going to be lots of ups and more downs, I bet you, in your career and business. Are you going to be able to change your goals or business entirely very quickly, pivoting when needed? That's going to be important because things right now, for example, with the COVID-19 virus, a lot of people that have businesses had to switch on a dime and do something completely different or alter their business in a way to make it work and fit to meet the current state of the world, right? So are you someone who can adapt and change quickly? You got to ask yourself, can you accept the inherent risks? There's a lot of risks with owning a business. As a business owner, you have employees, and employees are people you got to take care of. There's a lot of risks in business, and you could potentially fail, for example, and that can cost you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort lost. Can you accept the risk? Another point, can you accept the sacrifices? For example, giving up a lot of your personal time to dedicate to the business. Are you willing to work around the clock? Are you willing to work on a Sunday night, on a Saturday afternoon, on a Friday afternoon? That's what's required. That's just the truth. And this is a really important point. Are you going to give up when things get hard?
We're going to delve into that one a little bit further too, because that's very important.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, because things are going to get hard, really quick. And it's going to happen. You could go a month. There could be a straight month where shit sucks.
Longer than that,
yeah,
man.
I know. I'm just giving a basic example.
I know. I'm just saying.
Could you handle 6 months of straight hell? And I mean, when things go bad, they go really bad, and you got to dig yourself out of a hole, whether financially or your business is sinking or everything you can think of is going wrong. Can you pick yourself up and keep going forward? Can you, or are you going to give up and buckle? Most people don't make it because you give up, and that's just the truth.
I don't know if you guys know this, just a quick little aside, but this fact is stated in a lot of business books, but I believe it's 95% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years, which is an insane number. That's almost all of them, So it means good things though for everybody that puts in the work, because once everybody else bows out and quits, there's not many of you left to compete with, right? So we've been in it for a while, and I'm sure people that we were quote unquote competing with have all quit and dropped off, and now there's a lot less competition. Yeah,
that's very true. I mean, it gets a lot of people that think are business for a long time will tell you that the longer you're in it, it actually gets easier. And I think that's true because within your certain field, within your certain industry of business, what you'll see is that you'll get to know the other players. You get to know who are the people that are actually doing it right, and who's still around, standing the test of time. And as you realize, as time goes on, the number of people, your real competition actually decreases. significantly.
Yeah, there's a huge a huge pool of competition for mediocrity, but a
Yeah,
very, very small pool of competition for excellence.
that's very true, actually. Yeah, I mean, if you look at like a min wage job, it's very very competitive, right? Super competitive in the sense that a lot of people apply for minimum wage jobs. They're mediocre versus a super I don't know, a skilled type of job. There's a lot less people applying for those jobs, right? Because they're harder to do. And it requires a specific skill set that not everybody holds. That's just an example.
Hmm.
The point of having a bulletproof mindset is to make sure you're able to educate yourself every single day with a commitment to a bulletproof mindset. You're going to need it in order to succeed. That's the bottom line. If you don't have a bulletproof mindset, you shouldn't even get started.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people like to just gloss over the mindset stuff.
Yeah.
They hear the word mindset and they're like, whatever, give me the real stuff. I want to know the steps I need to take, or, the actual things I need to do. But truth, if you do not have a bulletproof mindset, you will fail, period. So if you can't get this first part right, just don't even try. I mean, honestly, it's just it's something that we've come to realize, being in business for the time that we have, and just in life, mindset is a good 80 to 90% of it. So if you don't have this mindset, you can build it for sure.
Yeah,
You can work on it, you can practice it, but you have to have it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're the type of person that gives up real quick when things get hard, I mean, just don't even get
Yeah,
started.
don't waste your time.
Yeah, don't
Honestly,
waste
you'll
your
just
money.
waste a lot of time and headache and
And
money.
money. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's fact number one is build a bulletproof mindset. Fact number two, start with the end.
No, go ahead.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, how do you know where you're going if you don't know the destination, right? So if you think about getting in your car, and when you get in your car, you're going to drive somewhere and you always know where you're going to end. You have a destination. You put that in your GPS or you have it in your head as to where you're ending. So you have to ask yourself, what's the real end goal of what you're doing? Meaning you got to work backwards. You got to think of what the end goal is and take steps to work backwards to meet your final destination. So for example, your final destination might be selling your business in 5 years or 10 years, franchising your business, passing on a legacy, could be just an extra source of income. Whatever it is, that may also change too. Whatever your end goal, whatever you think that is, over time, your end goal may completely change. Perfect example is when Kelley and I started our company several years ago. Our initial goal was to pay Manhattan, New York City rent. And the company met that goal pretty quickly. And now our final goal is much more different than what it originally was.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's been evolving over time. Like John said, you might start out with one thing in mind, and then either you hit that thing and you got to come up with a new thing, or maybe you just change your mind down the line. We've changed our minds several times, but that's one thing where we did kind of screw this up a little bit. We did not start with the end in mind. And if we could do it all over again, which we are in several different sectors with several different businesses, but you got to start with the end goal. Come up with something, even if you're not sure what it is. Everybody has an idea of the kind of life that they want to live or something that they want to do or achieve. Think about what's your exit strategy. How am I going to get out of this? Because chances are you don't want to, do the business that you're doing until you're 80 years old, right? Most of us don't. We're doing this for a reason. We're doing this to, make a certain amount of money or be comfortable or
be your own boss. Yeah.
Yeah, but also you don't want to just,
it.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on your motivation, but I think most of us want to have an exit strategy. So just really think about that, and put that somewhere. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it every single day over and over and over to remind yourself, this is a goal. This is why I started, because when things get real shitty, and they will, a bulletproof mindset is obviously going to help. And so is that end goal, just pushing you to, it's your why. It's why you're getting up in the morning and going through all this crap. It's reminding you, hey, here's my goal and I'm going to push until I get there.
Yeah. Kelley's point is really good about what is your real why? What's the purpose of all this, right? What's the purpose of all this headache? So always think about your end goal.
Yeah, I mean, just as an example, we have a big whiteboard where we write all of our goals and we update it, and it's constantly
Evolving.
changing. But at the very top of it, we have our why, and it's huge. It's written in bold, and we see it every single day, all day. And so even when you're not even paying attention, you'll just catch yourself glancing at it, and you think, "Oh yeah, that's why." It reminds you. So just do something like that. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. That's really going to help motivate you when things get really tough.
Yeah, good point actually.
Okay, so fact number 3. Well, let's review the previous facts. So fact number 1, you need a bulletproof mindset. Fact number 2, start with the end. So that's create your goal. And fact number 3 is it's going to take a lot of time. Okay, and when we say a lot, we're not talking like 1 year or 2 years. We're talking like 10 years, 20 years, a long time. You have to at least plan for a long time. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get into this, I'll make some quick money, be out in a year, or I'll be where I want to be, in 6 months. Not going to happen. Okay. It doesn't matter what kind of business you have. There is no easy money, period. That's a fallacy. If anybody tells you that, they're trying to sell you something, and it's false. So it's going to take a lot of time, months, years. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. So you're not going to get rich quick. And years down the line, you may not be making any money at all. Maybe you can't even pay yourself. But that, hopefully you have a big enough why to push you through those times, because a lot of people kind of think, oh, I'm going to be my own boss. It's going to be great. I'm going to pay myself so much. But that's not the truth. I mean, if you're doing it right, you're going to realize you're going to manage your cash flow. You're going to realize that it's going to take an injection of money to make more money, right? You need to spend on marketing. You need to spend on, good employee training, hiring, so many different things, infrastructure, people to help you eventually, supervisors, managers. That, you're not going to be able to take all that money for yourself like you may have thought in the beginning. And different business models have different kind of cash situations, but just know that this is not, whatever you're starting, this is not going to be a get rich quick scheme.
Exactly. It's really to add to that, really, if, Kelley touched on it. If you are thinking you're going to get rich quick, someone's trying to sell you something, and that's something you should be really cautious of. That's one thing I almost personally fell for like 5 years ago. I was reading something online. It was like make $10,000 a month, but the program was like, I think I told you about it. It was like $4,000 or $5,000.
What was it for?
It was like, I don't even know exactly what it was for. It was basically just trying to sell like.
Oh, I know. Well, a lot of those like little people will trick you. Those YouTube people, or I've seen something like that.
Yeah, it was like
a pyramid scheme. Or
something. some I forget exactly what it was, but it was like guaranteed you make $10,000 a month. And I was like, damn. I started reading into it, and I started falling down the rabbit hole, and I was like, damn, this is really great. I was like, why even start a business, right? And then Kelley and I were talking about it, and then I started reading reviews about it, and everybody's like, I bought this $10,000 program, and I just made over $100 over 1 year, and all these people were bashing it, and it was like, this is a total scam. Run away! Don't fall for it. There's no such thing as easy money. It's just gonna take time. That's the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just have to make sure that you have the patience and the commitment to put in that time, because if you don't, again, just like with all the other ones, if you know ahead of time, I'm somebody who's going to fold when things get tough, or I'm somebody who's not willing to work when I don't want to work. I'm not willing to give up my weekends or, my time with my friends and family. I'm not somebody who's willing to invest a lot of time. If all of those things are true, seriously, don't start. Like there's other ways to make money. There's other things you can do, but starting a business is just not going to be a great path for you. And it's just going to waste time and money, because all of these things that we're saying, they are true, and they're even truer than we're telling you. Like this is one of those things that, we try to make it sound, it's usually better to make it sound worse than it is, but I don't think we could, even make some things up to make it sound worse than it can be. I mean, and we're not saying that it's bad to have your own business. It's great. We love it. That's why we do. I mean, it allows us to live, comfortably and not really be forced to do anything. If we don't want to, we don't have to work. We could just do nothing and be okay, right? But we don't. We choose to work and we choose to put in the time because we have put in the time to get to this point, and we have a long way to go. So, the fact is just it's going to take time, and you have to make sure that you're somebody who can put in that time and know that, hey, it may not be 20 years until I reach my goal, right? And if you're not okay with that, I would tell you to really rethink the whole business thing.
Bingo. All right. So that leads into fact number 4. Kelley, do you want to knock that out?
Sure, I'll knock it out. So fact number 4, you'll need to do the actual work, okay? So if you're somebody who's going to quit, again, not for you. So you do actually have to work. Are you somebody who is going to work for it, who's going to be willing to bust their ass for, again, maybe the next 20 years? Or are you somebody who's going to work for a month and then cry about how hard it is and give up? Because honestly, once you realize how much work it is, you're going to want to give up. I mean, I can tell you the number of times that we have wanted to give up. I mean, we have some just silly stories about
really stupid, actually.
Really like low points and times that we were just like
rock bottom.
F this, like we are done. But, we stuck it out. We always stuck it out. Why? Because we have a why. And, I think luckily we have each other, which is certainly helpful. I would, strongly recommend if you have someone to start a business with that, is a good partner. Partnerships are a whole nother thing, but I do recommend having some sort of support system because it's very helpful when things get super low, and they will. Yeah. You're going to want to quit, and it's helpful to have that voice of reason to kind of talk you back into, talk you off the ledge.
This is a 24/7 through 65 type of job. It's not like something you can just, start up for a month, work on it, and then, chill for 3 months and then start it up again. You know what I mean? That's more of a hobby. It's not actually a real business. So you get, this fact, our current fact number 4, that, saying that you'll need to do the actual work or you're going to quit, that's one fact that I think is one of the first questions you should really, really, really ask yourself, because most people just quit. And that's the truth. I've seen it firsthand in immediate family. I've seen it with friends. I've seen it. You read about it all the time. Most people quit.
Well, and that's why most people don't really ever achieve the life that they want to achieve. That's why most people don't really have the things that they want to have and the life that they want to live. It's because they quit. They quit everything. Yeah. Maybe they never even got started, and that's another thing. But assuming they started something, they probably quit, right? And if I started this. 2 months in, I'm not making enough money, or this is too hard. You know what? Maybe I should just do something else. That is never the answer. That the answer is never, I should do something else, because you're going to encounter the same stuff. It's same different picture, same story. Like, it's going to be very similar no matter what you do. So just pick something, commit to it, and know that, if once it gets hard, you can't just say, this is not for me. Like, it's not for anybody. It's really not for anybody to work your ass off, to give up all your time, to put in, to have like the mental toughness to get through some of this stuff. It's not for anyone. Right. But it is. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm saying it's not natural is what I'm trying to say. Nobody wants to do these things, really. But if you have an end goal in mind and it's strong enough, then you're going to put in that work. And that's why we do. It's because we care enough about the end to go through all the hell that it takes to get there. Yeah. So we will never quit. I don't care what happens. Yeah, we will never quit. And we know that now even more than ever. There have been times when we've kind of thought about I don't think we would have quit anyways, but we won't quit. So,
that's the key, my friends. Excellent. So fact number 5.
Go ahead.
All right. So Fact number 5. Are you guys ready for this? Get started. Do it anyway. Just get started.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, no, don't get paralyzed, analysis paralysis. Don't read every single thing there is to read. Don't sit there and
You'll
ponder
never
it all
start.
day long. Yeah, just start, do something, right? Take one small step, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like take a small step towards getting started, and just do something, right? Sometimes you don't know where to start, but it doesn't really matter. Is the point? As long as you get started doing something, just take action. Don't just sit there and talk about it, right?
Yep, exactly.
There's probably a million businesses out there that have just been discussed but never started. So
yeah, more so than not. We also got a bonus fact for you guys.
Yeah, bonus fact number 6.
I guess you could count this as actually a 6th fact. We said we're going to talk about 5 facts, and we did. We got a bonus fact for you guys. So the bonus fact is business is not for everyone. That is the bottom line too. Like, I think some people are just happy. If you're happy working 9 to 5 job, 40 hours a week, retiring at 65 with a 401k, you should do that. And if you're happy doing it, go for it. It's whatever makes you happy at the end of the day. But business, once you get into it, you quickly realize it's not for everyone.
Yeah, it's absolutely not for everybody. There's what am I thinking? The Robert E. Gerber, The E-Myth, which is a huge, an amazing book for you to read, especially just getting started into business. You should absolutely read this book. It's a great book, and it'll really, really help you get in the kind of the right frame to get started. But he talks about the owner versus an operator kind of mentality. Yeah. So, just because you're somebody who's, let's say you're good at cooking, definitely doesn't mean you should start a bakery, chef. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but there's a very, very big difference from being good at something, enjoying something, and actually doing it for a business. So just know that maybe if you have a hobby or a passion, it doesn't mean you couldn't start a business, but you just need to think, just because you're good at it. And some people have said, oh, you make such good food, you should start a restaurant. Like, no, those two things are not related. Good restaurateurs rarely are the cooks. They hire people that are good cooks. So just think about that.
Bingo. It's not for everyone. So this leads into the bottom line. And the bottom line really is the rewards, such as personal, professional, and financial rewards, meaning money. The rewards are worth it for those who will actually do the work. The bottom line is no risk, no reward.
Yeah, and also rewards, they come. Like, sometimes you're going to think, especially through the long journey, like, am I ever going to get where I want to go? Is it ever really going to happen? Is my goal ever going to come true? But the fact is, if you put in the work and you execute every single day, the rewards will come, right? It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And it's only a matter of when if you do put in the work and you do these 5 things, really 6 that we told you here in this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I like seeing the part of no risk, no reward. If you look at like the most successful people, millionaires, billionaires, they all took significant risks, every single one of them. Risks that put them out of business several times, got them fired out of their own companies, even, believe it or not, and even risked their own life, essentially, their own well-being to get to where they are. It sounds crazy, actually, but that's the way that's the only way you can really get to the top, is by taking a chance, which is risk, right? And if you don't take any risk, where's the upside? Where's the reward, right? Society never rewards anyone who takes no risk.
Exactly. It doesn't reward mediocrity. So think big, take a risk, think about these, 6 things that we've mentioned, and, just evaluate, is this really for you? Because it's okay if it's not. Again, there's other ways to make money in life, other ways to do things. But if it is, just make sure that you remember all these things that we said, because trust me, you will start to see them, and it's better to be prepared, we'll say.
Bingo.
Okay, so now I
right.
think it's time
For
the
idiot fact of the day.
the
All right, do
Okay,
you wanna
idiot
say
fact
this
of the
one?
day.
Yeah, Kelly found this fact.
Yeah, no, actually, we learned this fact in another
yeah.
great book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That's another excellent book that you should read for sure. We'll probably come out with a list of books because John and I have read a lot of books and we're always reading. So yeah, anyways, that's where we learned this. But yeah, so the idiot fact of the day is the word mortgage actually comes from a French word that means death contract.
Yeah, death contract.
So now,
you're
don't you
signing
feel like a
death contract.
fool for having a mortgage? The bank's just laughing. Ah, ha, ha, we're going to sign this death contract.
Yeah, you're gonna be paying your mortgage until death.
Yes,
Get it?
until your death. And that is the goal of actually
bank, yeah.
banks is to get you in mortgages until you
Yeah.
die. So,
Something
yeah.
to think about, guys, before you sign that other mortgage.
Yeah. Think about that death contract before you sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "Oh, I can't wait to get a mortgage."
Yeah, they're
death
just
contract.
laughing like, look at all these idiots. Ha ha ha, death contract.
Yeah, the banks are like, "Oh, we signed on 10 million mortgages this past quarter." Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah,
and they're banking off those. You know,
literally.
Yeah, banking. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say laughing all the way to the bank.
Oh, aren't you clever?
So many bank jokes.
Yeah, laughing to the bank. All right.
So yeah, guys, that's our
that's
episode. I don't know if we mentioned this in the beginning. I don't think we did. Did we?
Actually, no,
We did
didn't.
not. We meant to. So
Yeah.
please, if you got any value out of this, please share it with a friend, a relative, someone, anyone. Just share it if you got value, because that is how we are able to reach more listeners and grow the podcast and try to help people.
Right. So share the word. If you got anything out of it, we just ask to share it with someone that you think will benefit from this podcast. That's it, guys.
Yep, that's all we got.
All right. Till the next time.
All right, stay cool.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye.